Every time an animal welcomes a new addition to its family, it should be a joyous time of bonding between mother and child. Sometimes, however, the world has other plans. When a cow named Ruby gave birth to her calf, Lucas, it should have been a happy moment. But Lucas was born in what's called a kill pen, which meant that both he and his mother, barring some miracle, were scheduled to be slaughtered. What could they do? Luckily, their prayers were answered in the form of one caring woman. She had come to purchase a horse, but when she saw Ruby and Lucas, she knew she had to help. But their journey was still far from over. After she gave birth, Ruby the cow would never leave the side of her calf, Lucas. Like any good mom, she wanted to be with him at all times. Yet since Lucas was born in a kill pen, he was almost certainly going to be taken from his mama soon enough. Luckily, one caring rescuer prevented that from happening. From the time Ruby and Lucas were saved from the slaughterhouse, their bond grew even stronger. When they were moved to the sanctuary that would be their home, they had to experience the transition together. It was only natural that they would become even closer. But even after they arrived at the Poplar Spring Animal Sanctuary in Maryland, they still weren't out of the woods. Ruby's rescuers noticed that she was mooing throughout the whole day. The reason why was initially a total mystery. They thought that maybe Lucas had escaped from the pen, as he'd done a couple of times before. But when they walked over to check on them, Lucas clearly hadn't run away. In fact, he was right by her side. Something wasn't right. If Lucas was next to her and there were no predators in sight, why was Ruby so upset? Eventually, they realized that maybe Ruby was trying to send her human friends a distress call about Lucas's health. After they examined the little calf, they discovered that they were right. He had a high fever, and Ruby had been calling out for their help. There was only one thing that they could do if they wanted Lucas to survive: get him medical attention as soon as possible. Unfortunately, after a few days in the hospital, Lucas was diagnosed with a bad case of pneumonia. Though he was still on the mend, Lucas was thankfully going to be okay, and it was all due to his mom's quick thinking, not to mention her very loud mooing. If the staff at the sanctuary had discovered the illness any later, little Lucas might not have made it. Thank goodness for moms. While some people might think that animals don't bond with their offspring the same way that humans bond with their young, the ties between Lucas and Ruby would prove them all wrong. Lucas was still recovering, but doing it with the love of his mother and all of his new friends at the sanctuary made his life just a little bit sweeter. In fact, he was so often surrounded by new friends that he was hard to spot in a crowd. Can you see where he's hiding in this picture? Have you ever heard of anything sweeter than Ruby's love for Lucas? It's true that these are two adorable animals who would be utterly lost without each other.